He says, وَالذَّبْحُ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ, and sacrificing for other than Allah. What is it? It is to shed blood, or to let the blood, yani slaughter the animal and let the blood flow for other than its creator. For other than its creator. Who is the one that created that animal? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that blood can only be shed, or that slaughter can only take place for the one that has created it. And that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So shirk would be that a person causes this blood to shed, or he slaughters this animal for other than its creator. And its creator is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. تريد من هذا المخلوق ما لا يقدر عليه إلا الله. Why are they doing that? They are doing that because they want from this creation that which they don't have the ability to do so. Except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has the ability to do so. And it's a test for them. Like, for example, giving them a child. You find some people, they sacrifice for certain jinns, or even certain, supposed scholars of theirs. Why? They say, sacrifice for me and I'll give you a child. Having a child or not having a child is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or for example, sending the rain down from the sky. And with regards to this point, ikhwani, barakallahu feekum, this is what I want us to pay attention to. Sometimes when we read these books, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has protected us, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and to continue to protect us and our families until we meet Him. Perhaps we haven't been exposed to this stuff. However, it takes place. In this day and age, it takes place. And it took place back at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and before him and after him. And nowadays, there's a huge calamity that rappers and musicians, they actually sacrifice for other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they put the chant of calling out to their gods in their music, and it causes others to carry on the chant, and you find that even Muslims, they say this chant and they have no idea about it. For example, there's an individual, he's a shaitan, his name is Skrilla, he's a rapper. Everyone, and it's widespread on the news and everywhere, documentaries and so on and so forth. And I think it's something light-hearted that the children are saying the number 6 and the number 7. That's all they say, 6 and 7. However, the shaitan, the number 6 and the number 7 is in reference to the idols that he sacrifices for. And he has placed this in his music, and now you find children saying this chant over and over again and falling into statements of kufr and so on and so forth. And this is what the shayateen, they want. That their mention gets spread and it rubs off upon the people. This shaitan, when he was interviewed, he said it explicitly. He said, I sacrifice goats, I sacrifice chicken, I sacrifice rats. They do it, ikhwani. There's no doubt about it. This happens and it takes place. There's war against Islam and Tawheed. Know this with certainty. The shayateen and that which they are trying to push of their agenda and the efforts that they are taking to try to destroy Islam and Tawheed, only Allah knows. However, Islam will always be uppermost. Wallahi, it will always be uppermost. But what is upon us? Upon us is to stick to Islam. And we can only stick to it after the tawfiq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by way of knowledge. Holding on to it firm, knowing what is right and what is wrong. A brother informed me that a young family member of his came into the house and she was saying this chant. And he was absolutely gobsmacked that it's even reached her. And then we ask ourselves and we question as to why our children have been influenced in a bad way when we have let them be unsupervised amongst people in schools and so on and so forth. That's why if a person has the ability to do so, send your kids to Islamic schools. If you're going to send them to a school and you can't homeschool, send them to Islamic schools. Allahumma barik our brothers, from the head of them, our beloved brother Hanif, he's running tarbiyah. Excellent school. Don't listen to the whispers of people that turn around and say, yeah, but you can get better facilities at such and such school. What are you concerned about? Are you concerned about your deen, or are you concerned about multiplication and division? What are you concerned about? Ya'qub alayhi salam, when he was at the time of death, what did he advise his children with and ask them about? What did he ask them about? مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. He didn't say, what job are you going to do? He didn't say, spread or distribute this wealth to such and such. He didn't say, go and collect my debt from such and such. He said, مَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن بَعْدِي. What will you worship after me? Look at their concern. Anbiya, ikhwani. Anbiya, this is where their concern was. This doesn't mean that we look down upon education. No, Muslims, they are educated people. They are smart people, intelligent people. Hence why you find Muslims that have memorized the whole Quran and Kutub al-Sitta. Who from the kuffar can do that? But from the ability that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given the believers. Look how many huffaz, memorizers of the Quran, and they stand and they read the whole Quran. Look at the time of Uthman radiallahu anhu. It's mentioned that on one occasion, it's only ever happened once, they stood in prayer and they read the Quran from beginning to end. Memory, strength of knowledge and intelligence. So we need to know where our priorities are. We shouldn't let down our guard, and then there on after that, when there's a calamity in front of us, we ask ourselves, why? Why? Because we didn't seek knowledge. Why? Because we weren't acquainted with Tawheed. Why? Because we didn't take the means. Why? Because we thought that we were safe. We need to be mindful with regards to the footsteps of shaitan. Hence why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان. Don't follow the footsteps of shaitan. He is a clear, open enemy. إن الشيطان لكم عدو فاتخذوه عدوا. Indeed, shaitan is an enemy to you, so take him as an enemy. Your enemy, you won't even entertain his footsteps. So don't entertain the footsteps of shaitan by falling into listening to these things, or even having these devices or these channels that you can even expose yourself to them in the first place. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and our families.